What exactly is your term of reference?
Well, thank you very much. Good morning to you, Alfred. Good morning to Lawyer Martin Pebo. Good morning to all the distinguished viewers of TV3. This is the first key point I am appearing on since the historic victory of the President-elect, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama. And I want to use this occasion to thank the Ghanaian people. The Ghanaian people demonstrated in this election that they abhor corruption, they abhor state capture, they abhor economic mismanagement. They totally abhor the impunity and arrogance that characterize the Akufo-Addo-Bawumia administration, and roundly rejected them by a margin of more than 1.6 million votes. And as we speak, for the first time in the history of the Fourth Republic, the NDC is constituting a parliament with more than 2/3 majority. Never happened, an epic electoral outcome. And this really goes to the special, really profound character of the Ghanaian, that the Ghanaian people will punish you if they give you a mandate and you abuse that mandate. You take them for granted and you just do whatever you want. Disregard their concerns, their criticisms, and conduct national affairs with impunity, with arrogance. I mean, you recall the president went around ordering chiefs to get up to greet him and all of that. You know, things we have never seen, you know, in this country. He became a clearing agent. Anytime we put out our exposés, he treats it with contempt. It was rather the people exposing corruption who became a threat to his governance and who became victims of his high-handedness. They will attack you, insult you, hound you out. You remember what happened to Manasseh Azuri Awuni, hounded out of this country. As we speak, the assassination of Ahmed Hussein Swale remains a mystery. There's been no serious effort by this regime to investigate and apprehend the perpetrators of that of that dastardly act, the killing of an investigative journalist. You know how the likes of Domelevo, the former Auditor General, who everybody celebrated, civil society, the masses of our country, as an Attorney General, an Auditor General, pardon me, who is dynamic, who is surcharging, disallowing, making sure that corruption becomes costly. He rather became a victim. And he, you remember, famously said that when you fight corruption, corruption will fight you. All the special prosecutors we have had, either Martin Amidu is resigning or the current one is holding press conferences and complaining about the climate, how he's being frustrated and cannot perform his duties. So it's been a horror movie. And this is not a movie that you are sitting comfortably in the movie theater watching. It is a movie that really is unfolding, where you are really in there, you know, as a victim of all of the atrocities that we witness. And that is why the Ghanaian people roundly rejected. They rejected corruption, rejected state capture, rejected economic mismanagement, rejected arrogance, rejected impunity in this election. And I think that the lesson does not only go to the party that has been humiliated in this election. I keep saying that the election, even more importantly, should go to us. We in the NDC, who have this surreal, overwhelming mandate, we must learn from the predicament of the NPP and make sure that we eschew all of those things that the Ghanaian people have demonstrated clearly, without ambiguity, without any equivocation, that they abhor and they are totally disgusted by. So it has to guide us in how we come into government, how we govern, how we relate to the Ghanaian people. Now, this dovetails perfectly into the reason why the president-elect, His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, has set up Team Aura. If you have monitored the public reaction, assessed the reception of the Ghanaian people towards the president's major campaign promise to implement Aura, which stands for Operation Recover All Loot. This government, everybody knows, is the most scandal-riddled government in the history of our country. Indeed, all the post-mortem articles I have read from even their own members, they are now confessing that they should have listened to some of us. And that
some MPP members.
Read Dr. Atta Kennedy's post-mortem. He says clearly that we spent the 8 years looting and engaging in state capture. Dr. Atta Kennedy, a stalwart of the New Patriotic Party. Last week, I read a spokesperson to the Vice President, Dr. Baumia, say that upon hindsight, they should have listened, particularly on the National Cathedral, that the looting that was going on there, the disregard for the Ghanaian people was too much. They should have listened. Viewers can Google that. You know, the spokesperson to Baumia, Apia Miracles, if that's his name, stated clearly that...
Miracles Abuaji, you mean?
Yeah, then it's Miracles Abuaji, okay. Stated clearly that they should have listened. And I've listened to and read articles from a whole host of them, those who are at least being honest. I've also heard a leading member of parliament, the Honorable Andy Apia Kubi, also say just last week that, look, there's been too much looting, too much corruption. And indeed, he, even before Team Aura was set up, appealed to President Mahama, if you read his submissions, that President Mahama must immediately set up a team. And he wants even all contracts in the natural resources space, the resources of our country, should be investigated. And Andy Apia Kubi says that he within had been raising concerns, but he was ignored. And that this is a golden opportunity. You've heard former MPP, MPs, and all of that, who have also publicly stated that they will even assist this committee. They are going to show us, you know, a lot of places where the loot is. So even within the MPP, those who are being honest do not question the need for there to be a genuine, conscious effort to recover the loot. Now, let me also, this morning, announce a very important development, which has excited me since last night. Thanks to the Ghanaian people, this massive rejection of this government, the management of Labadi Beach Hotel proceeded to court. Now they are liberated after the election. And they have Labadi Beach Hotel, and they have secured an injunction against the state capture of their beachfront. You remember that we were able to, all of us collectively, stop the purchase of the hotels, which was being sold to Brian Champon, the cabinet minister, and the naked conflict of interest affair. And again, you remember the president defended that. The president was the only person in this country who thought that that was conduct that was praiseworthy, that was above board. When everybody, all labor organizations, everybody, yes, Elizabeth Ohene, yeah.
Can you imagine?
You know, so if there hadn't been a shutdown in this country, Ghanaian workers supporting us, declaring a strike, all the SNIT hotels would have been sold. And a few weeks ago, when SNIT, the body responsible for managing workers' pensions, received that 16 million in dividends from Labadi Beach Hotel, where would that money have gone to? The 16 million profit that Labadi Beach. And remember, they were claiming that these are hotels that are, you know, useless and worthless and not making profit and should be taken off their books. But a few weeks ago, when Labadi Beach Hotel declared profits, we all benefited, over 16 million Ghana cedis. That will have gone to one person. Things like that. And yesterday's development, where the courts have now granted the management of Labadi Beach Hotel an injunction, and that is the first step.
In fact, we have
it is a spirited campaign by the management of Labadi Beach Hotel to take back their beachfront. I mean, how can you be called a beach hotel? Labadi Beach Hotel. And you don't have a beachfront. And it's because at the time, politically exposed persons and politicians, remember at the time this state capture happened, when Mr. Freddie Blay was chairman of the MPP, and his children went in there. And if you read all the court depositions, and you read the board minutes, which are intercepted, how they were tricked. It was supposed to be a partnership, and they were tricked. And in the process, lost their beachfront. I am glad that now there is no fear of intimidation. There is no fear that you have a clearing agent as a president who will rather come after you and defend the state capture elements. So they have gone to court, they've secured an injunction, and it is the beginning of they recovering that loot. That beachfront is going to come back to them, which they have owned since the 1960s. So that is a significant development. That should tell you that this agenda to recover all of those, I've seen a few people out there engaging in cynicism. Oh, this is going nowhere, nothing will be recovered.
Well, that's one of the questions which I'm going to be finding out from you on because, yes, there's some who have that kind of position. But that Labadi Beach Hotel matter that you just referenced, we have a copy of the injunction,
yes,
which you say you got last night.
Yeah.
We'll put it on the screen right now. This injunction issued on December 19, 2024, follows a legal action initiated by Labadi Beach Hotel, that's Hotel Investments Limited, Ghana, the owners of Labadi Beach, to reclaim the said disputed land. The court's directive explicitly prohibits Spartan Knives Limited. This Spartan Knives Limited, who owns it?
That's Mr. Freddie Blay's son.
The company
Yes.
Freddie Blay's
Yes.
son owns.
Yes.
And its affiliates from one, trespassing on the 0.54 acres of the hotel's property, including its use as a car park, pathway, or venue for events, operating the Polo Beach Club or hosting events on the hotel's land or adjoining restricted areas, and using the beachfront adjacent to the hotel's property in violation of the lease agreement dated November 27, 1990. The injunction effective for 10 days, we understand, warns of contempt proceedings against the defendants should they fail to comply. So that's what you have on the screen there, the details of this court injunction by the Labadi Beach Hotel.
And you know that this beachfront was captured more than 5 years ago. They were scared. They were, I intercepted, you remember, I published letters, protests. They didn't get any support from the government. They were rather told to back off. They were prepared to sell the entire hotel. This was just the first part of the sale. The beachfront was hijacked first, and then they were moving to annex the entire hotel. Fortunately, we were able to stop the annexation, the hijack, the capture of the hotel. But they remained at the beachfront, and I am glad that now they feel emboldened. So, look, Ghanaians, you have no idea, the way you voted, how it has liberated many compatriots. Many victims of state capture are feeling so relieved. I know of numerous others who are on their way to court, apart from those who have appeared before our committee, to reclaim, for example, the Lomote Adote family at North Laboni, who suffered that cruel demolition of their property, their own home, demolished because politically exposed persons want it. Once they set eyes upon a property, I mean, the impunity. It was as if we're living in a jungle. Once they see a prime line, they don't care. If they want it, they are going for it. You remember what happened to GIS? If the GIS management had not been alert, GIS will have lost its land. So, look, this election result is a result that clearly defeat state capture. And you are going to see in the coming days how much will be recovered. This Labadi Beach Fund success is just the beginning. There are going to be many more recoveries. Now, our mandate is very clear. We are a preparatory team. We are not, and the president-elect has clearly explained that. We are not usurping any institution's mandate. We are not purporting to be carrying out investigations or going to prosecute people. We are just, and the president said that even him was receiving a lot of calls. People were sending him a lot of documents. Because you know what has happened in this country. There was a marauding gang, a looting brigade. We descended upon this country. So many victims. And the president thought that there should be some coordination, a place where you go and submit your grievances once it's related to corruption and state capture. That's all we are doing. So when the government is inaugurated, an attorney general is nominated and vetted and appointed, sworn in, we hand over our report.
Okay.
It's as simple as that.